was gone. Tried to make things work and sat in my house feeling guilty because I'd got a studio. There's those that wish they had a studio. And if they were in there, they'd be in there all the time, and I'm not. So I'm, you know, and all that silly head stuff. Do you know what I mean? But sort of getting to a space of being content with what it is that I'm doing, and also realizing that there's this thing called music that's been a part of my life, you know, and just even asking myself the question, well, what's my relationship to music? What is this thing? Do you know what I mean? I've been doing it for such a long time, but really what is this thing? But when I've been asking this question, I'm not expecting an answer from me mentally. I want an answer to come from my heart. It has to come from within. And when I say that, there's only one voice, you know, there's not like, oh, I do it because of this, and you know, I want the fattest beats, and I this and that, because then the next voice comes in, that ain't so fat, that's this, no, and it's all nonsense, you know what I mean? The head's, you know, the head's a tricky thing, but the heart is pure. There's only one voice in the heart, and so me asking that question, I have to have the patience to wait for the answer, you know? So the question was, what's my relationship to music? What is it that I have to say for myself? You know, and that's like quite a deep question, because it's just like, you know, you can talk like I'm talking now, you know, they're just words. But walk your talk. What is it that you're saying? What are you about? What are you into? What inspires you? What do you want to share with the world? Do you know what I mean? What do you want to share with one person even? Do you know what I'm saying? So asking that question and making music at the same time ended up being the revelation to me, because what happened then was basically I was having flashbacks of what I call magical moments in making music. You know, there's certain songs that I go back and listen to that I've created, and I can still go, shit. Do you know what I mean? Where did that come from? Do you know what I mean? And that's like, and I'm like, well, at that time when I was making that tune, I was feeling good. Do you know what I mean? And then when I went to the next level of that, I started thinking about feeling good. I was thinking about parties, DJing, times I've spent in partying with my friends in my house, or going to all-dayers or weekenders, and I just like, and it's all music that's webbed this together, you know, but they're all states of feeling good. And then that took me to another place of like, well, there's no kind of like, there's no rule to feeling good. It doesn't belong to, it doesn't like say, you have to be this person to feel good. It's like, it's everybody's right to feel good. Do you know, it's your sovereign right to feel good.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? So then that took me to another place of like talking about feeling good, as I am doing now. This brings us into a state of feeling good. Do you know what I mean? It's just like if I said to somebody, when was the last time you felt good? That moment they start thinking about it and they go into a state of feeling good. And I'm like, all right, there's a snowball effect here, right? There's a whole thing. So as I'm making this music, I'm not actually, as I would have said I've done in the past, sort of, I'm not listening to it to see if it's right. I'm not listening to it to see if the tune's boxed or anything like that. I'm feeling it. You know what I mean? I'm feeling if I have any questions or not. You know, and a track wouldn't be complete until I had no questions. So all of a sudden I'm in this different space of making music, you know, and that's obviously taken time over the 4-year period of doing that. But at the same time, I just felt this real growth of the awareness of feeling good, do you know what I mean? And being able to take that I don't want to call it a message, just to be able to take that sort of awareness, my awareness of it, that feeling within my music, within my interviews, within my tour, and talk about it. Do you know what I mean? And just help to remind us all, you know, that we have a right to feel good, and it's really important for us to tap into that space, because when we feel shit, we've forgotten. When we feel good, we've remembered. It's really, really that simple. We all go through testing times in things, you know, and they're all very, very different and very individual. Do you know what I mean? But what happens to us doesn't define us. You know, it's how we deal with it, you know. So when you know that, or when you feel that thought is only a thought away, to feel good, yeah, it's just remembering, you know, and you know, just to happily take that message around in what I'm doing is just a real blessing, you know.
How do you think it translates from a record to going and doing it live? Because and this is purely an impression, so I am finding stuff out here that I don't know about, because I don't do very much preparation for these things. When I sit down here and talk to guests like George, I'm kind of making it up as I'm going along. I don't do any research. I haven't done it. I've listened to your album. It's a great listen. It really touches me there. The words that you wrote. How does being in a studio and doing that, and I'm guessing being by yourself a lot and doing that, how does that then translate into you getting it out on the stage? I mean, I'm guessing that this connection that you make on a stage it brings a completely different energy to it.
Yeah, well, it's unfolding, really. I mean, I just finish off on the kind of the studio side of it, because I'm not going to say that it was all totally easy as I was having these revelations, because I remember at one point asking myself if it was any good, and that was really, really scary, because I had to wait for the answer, and it was just like, shit, I've just asked myself if this is any good after I just put all my heart and soul into it, and I'm nearly towards the end of it. It was quite a scary question, you know what I mean? But in reflection, I'm happy it was, because it means I'm dealing with truth, you know? So then to take it live, yeah, as much as there's this intention of what I'm talking about, taking this whole feel-good thing on the road, what's happened in the last, I mean, I've just done, we did our 8th show last night, which was in London, and we did Germany and Holland and Belgium and stuff, and France last week. And every show's been different, but every show's been amazing, the energy that's happened. And you can have this intention of like, yeah, I'm going to take this on the road, it's going to be, but you know what, it feels like it's totally out of my hands now. It feels like there's a snowball effect of what's going on here, because, you know, the testaments that I'm getting from people that come to the shows, what happens within the show, whether that's on stage or with the people in the crowd, it's just been really, really emotional, really, really beautiful. You know, and, you know, if anything, you know, no matter what anybody believes in, you know, my belief is that I want to raise the vibration on this planet, this beautiful place that we live in. It's too easy to believe in the shit that is pumped out there, you know. Why is there never any good news on the news? You know, and, you know, we can believe in that world if we want, but, you know, I think the world needs us to believe in more good. You know, it's too easy to be negative, do you know what I mean? So, you know, that's my whole mission, do you know what I mean? Is to just remember to believe in the good, do you know what I mean? It's good for you, you know, to believe in the good. So, taking that to the stage, having that interaction with the crowd, having the amazing band I've got now, as well, having the maturity that's in there and the appreciation between us all, it's just so special, you know, it's really, really special. So it's kind of like, it's like catching a train and not knowing where it's going, and it's a really, really good train ride.
That's a lovely, I actually heard a really similar analogy, and I was mentioning this to somebody earlier on. I saw a documentary a few months ago about Mott the Hoople, and Ian Hunter, who's now 73, 74, was saying, you know, he had a breakdown in the early 70s and quit the industry for a while. And he said, you know, what I've realised is that it's a train journey and there's no stations and there's no getting off. There's a disembarkation at the end and who knows where you go from there on, but it's a train journey and there's no stations.
Yeah, it's not about the destination. It's all about the journey. It's all about the journey. And we're always on it. You know, it's not just me and music and what I'm doing. It's everybody's individual lives. We're all on a journey, you know. And, you know, your journey is yours and mine is mine, you know. And how we interact in journeys and stuff is an amazing opportunity to make something special, you know, no matter what it is, even if it's for 5 minutes, you know.
Yeah. And do you think it is that level of maturity, getting older? You know, I'm struggling to find the word, but discovering yourself, for want of a better description. Do you think it's getting older and maturing that's making this more special to you now?
I think it's experience and the realization that I have a choice, you know, in how I feel. I have a choice in how I think. Those are the really, really important parts, you know. Your thoughts can run away into all kinds of dark and wonderful places, do you know what I mean? But are they the ones that are serving you? Are they the ones that are good for you? You know, and it's just being aware of what you're bringing into this world. Do you know what I mean? We all bring something, you know. So what are you bringing? You know, is and I mean that just on a day-to-day. It's got nothing to do with your career. Really, it's got nothing. I'm using what I do, yeah, as a platform to try and heighten or highlight this, what I'm saying. But realistically, it's not your job, it's not your career. That's just something you do. It's who you are, you know. And to me, it's realizing that, you know, there's an ability. We're born with an ability, and that ability, yeah, is to what we bring. What do we have to offer, you know? Whether that is making somebody feel good by the simplest words, or how you look at them, you know, we've got that ability to do that.